Our mystery guest is Vivien White. Good evening, Vivien.
Good evening, David and everybody. How are you?
I'm very well. Thanks for joining me on the call. Now, I've told you that this is totally unscripted. You haven't got a clue, really, what's coming up next, which is the way we like it.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, Vivien, guys on the call and girls on the call, Vivien had never, I don't know if you've done a webinar before, Vivien, but you did what you wanted to know whether you need to put on your makeup before you get onto the call. Is that correct?
Yes, that's true.
Well,
I was terrified.
You're looking made up. You're looking pretty hot there, Vivien. You're in the green, which is the colour of your website, and we'll just have a look at where you've come from, because it's called New Leaf Homes, and that's where people can find you, Vivien. You're all green there, green to go. New Leaf Homes from Greendale, the street, Wannersh, Surrey, GU50PF. We've got some telephone numbers, 0845 873 2509. And there's the other one. They can contact you, info@newleaf-homes.com. Now, I met you, I think, a couple of years ago. You had your letting agency. You've come from South Africa. Now, let's talk about South Africa, because I believe in South Africa, you've heard about rent-to-own, lease options. You'd come across this before, so it wasn't entirely new for you.
No, not at all. In fact, about 10 years ago, some Americans came over to South Africa and taught us about lease options, and we had to pass exams in order for them to operate in such a field.
Yep.
And I was the top broker for the largest company in South Africa in selling of properties, and I used and implemented lease options there because we had a very similar market, although I have to say the culture of the UK is very different, and here I think it's going to really mushroom, whereas in South Africa it wasn't as great an entity as lease options can be here in the UK.
So 10 years ago, you'd already knew about this. So when people come out and say about lease options and all this other stuff, this is old hat for you.
Absolutely.
And yet this is the latest fashion. When I was at the weekend and spoke to one of the property people from America, I said, we sat down and I said, this is what we're doing. He said, that's all old hat. That goes back years and years. That's just part of the smorgasbord. Whatever you want on the smorgasbord, that's just one of the servings that you can have. But I said, well, over here they think it's just the newest thing. It's just like magic. It's appeared, and it sounds suspicious to me. If it's new and different, well, there's got to be something underhanded about that. You've probably gone through that when you're speaking to your customers, Vivien. How have you approached?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, David, the skepticism, you cannot believe. In fact, today I heard from one of my sellers whom I've just done a lease option for in Cobham.
Yeah.
And she said she went to the Citizens Advice Bureau and spoke to the counsellor there, who said, oh my goodness, this sounds really dodgy.
Yeah.
And completely sent her on a wobble, really big wobble, and I had to, reassure her and confirm that it is authentic, and it was just difficult because people who don't know about it will poo-poo it.
So you did defy what goes on and the bad news stories. Everybody who's on the call, let's have a look what Vivien did when she contacted me recently. Can you see this? When it appears, lease option or rent to buy can be a great alternative for buyers. This is in Town and Country section of the Surrey Advertiser, 30th of July 2010. You got pretty excited about this, didn't you, Vivien?
I did. It's not coming up on the screen for the minute. Oh, there it is.
There it is.
That was an editorial that we had done on the 30th of July, because we just want to educate the public, and we want to encourage sellers out there to start to feel a little bit more comfortable with this as an alternative, because there are properties that are sitting on the market for 18 months and they're just not selling. And I have to confess that this Cobham property that I listed on a rent to buy, they are South African, so I guess the fact that we had that connection gave them the confidence to go ahead with the lease option.
Yeah.
But we decided to try the show house scenario, where we invited people to come to a show house viewing on a Saturday between 2 and 5. And this is now for conventional buyers. putting an advert in the Surrey Advertiser for 3 sections, 3 weeks in a row. And do you know that even with that advertising, plus 250 leaflet drops inviting the neighbours to come and be quizzy, not a single soul pitched up to that show day. And that just shows how stagnant the market is from a normal buyer's perspective.
Yep.
So what then happened was, because of that, which was a good sort of marketing sort of, how can I say, strategy in a sense.
You've got to know, unless you try it. That's what I was going over the years. Unless I tried it, I would never know the result or the outcome. I wouldn't know what didn't work until I found out.
Exactly.
Until I found out. Yeah. So go on.
Yeah. So as a result, the sellers actually being there to see and witness the amount of effort and marketing that I put into that show day for normal buyers, they then adjusted their price. I then re-advertised it on the internet instantly at the adjusted price. Within a week, I got 2 tenant buyers bidding for that property, fighting for it just about.
Yep.
It happened that the first viewing was on the Tuesday, and the people came along, but it was only the wife. The husband couldn't view until the Saturday, and she was so desperately keen. And then I had another viewing on the Thursday, but husband and wife attended. And this is where, if you really want to get into the marketplace, always have the decision makers at a viewing.
Absolutely.
The decision makers were there, and within half an hour, I was signing the AST and the heads of terms on the dining room table, introducing them, both seller and buyer, and agreed the terms there and then.
Yeah. Now, how many other people in this field, in your competitors, are doing such a thing?
I don't think there are very many. I think there's a gentleman around in Kent. I sometimes get an email from him, but I don't know if there are any other sort of genuine other rental agents or sort of estate agents who even know how to do these.
They won't have a clue. They will not have a clue, and they won't know. They'll keep, quite a few of them will just keep doing everything the same way. They won't change. They will refuse to change, and they will probably go out of business. Now, let's talk about what's happened subsequently, because you did email me and you've sent something else, but just go over for the people on the call what's been happening since that first property.
Well, I've done an Elveston property as well, and as a result, the sellers of the Elveston property has referred me to her previous neighbour, and I'm listing that on Saturday. And she's given me some more referrals, at least 2 to 3 that I reckon will definitely turn into lease option deals, and that's property, because I keep saying to people, tenant buyers I can find. You know, I need the properties, I need the stock. And this couple in Cobham, literally tomorrow afternoon, I'm listing her brother's house, possibly on the same basis. So by word of mouth, I reckon it's going to just expand on just those 2 main deals that I've done, and I've done them pretty much all by myself.
It must be exciting for you just to see this new side of your business starting to grow.
I am immensely excited. I think lease options for me is the answer to this market. It honestly is. I am extremely excited about lease options.
Now, another thing you've taken up. Now, remember, I've told you from a long time ago, just like the people on this call, and we're going to get into the second half of the call. You, from South Africa, you have been aware of this methodology that we keep talking about. That, Vivien, nobody believes a word that comes out of your mouth. They believe what comes out of the mouth of other people when they talk about you, rather than you talking about yourself. This are some examples you've given me from South Africa, but you've continued since. Just talk about, you know, why you feel the testimonials are so important to your business.
Well, third-party edification always speaks volumes, and it's far better to have acknowledgement from someone else than from your own perspective. Although in real estate, unfortunately, there is a certain amount that you have to do to market yourself. But I much prefer it if it's in someone else's handwriting or their own words. And yes, there are times that I do ask for it specifically, and there are times that I do get it just automatically. So I think they're the best form of marketing, to be honest.